What's up guys? Gary the Can 23 and welcome to my picks for the top 20 films of 2014. So yeah, that's it. 2014 is been and gone, it's over and done with. We've had some great movies, we've had some good movies, we've had some not so good movies, but in this video I'm going to be commenting on the 20 of the very best. Now, there's a couple of pointers first. Basically, obviously this is my list, you know, people aren't going to agree with some of the films on this list. They'll think that a certain film is good when I think it's rubbish, or someone will think it's rubbish when I think it's good. Obviously, please respect that. If you're going to comment, don't be kind of derogatory. Do respect that it is my list, there are my opinions, and that's basically it. And also, with regards to release dates, personally, in my opinion, these are the films that I personally have seen in the cinema in 2014. They don't have to be 2014 films. There's a couple of films in here that came out last year, but I only saw it in 2014. And also, no Blu-ray watches, no kind of screener discs or anything like that, or Netflix or anything like that. But these are the films that I have seen in 2014 that I believe deserve recognition. But first of all, I'm going to go through my honourable mentions. These are films that I really did, films of the year that I really did like, but that I just couldn't quite fit on my list. And I've got quite a list here, so I'll go through them quite quickly. First of all, we have Only Lovers Left Alive, the Jim Jarmusch film. Really, really like that. Starred Up with Jack O'Connell, really like that as well. Labour Day, very underrated film. I believe it was on my my top 5 underrated films of this year. Zero Theorem, I really, really liked. Again, I think that was from last year, but I only saw it this year. The Wind Rises, obviously Hayao Miyazaki's farewell masterpiece. I really did like it, but again, I just couldn't quite fit it on this list. 22 Jump Street, one of the funniest comedies of the year. Really liked it. I don't think it was going to be on anywhere near the top 20, but it was really, really good. Chef, I really liked as well, the Jon Favreau directed and starring vehicle. Cold in July, a film that not a lot of people saw, but didn't get a very wide release, so I can see why. But really, really good film. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, yeah, I did like it. I don't think I loved it quite as some people did. I know the Schmoes put it on for their number 1 of the year. It was a good film, don't get me wrong, but I just couldn't quite fit it on this list again. In Between Us Two, I know a lot of that was quite divisive for a lot of people. Some people thought it was absolutely interminable. I really liked it, laughed a lot. Frank, the Michael Fassbender kind of weird, kooky comedy. Walk Among the Tombstones, again, it was never going to be on my list, but I really liked it. Mr. Turner, the Timothy Spall, the newest Mike Leigh film, I really did like again, but I just couldn't quite find a place to put on this list. And The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. I know it's kind of annoying because the past 2 films have been in my top 10 of the year. I did like it, I just don't think it was the best film it could be. I was expecting a little bit more from it's the last ever film that'll be kind of Middle Earth based, so I just expected more really, which might have been wrong on my part, but there you go. So yeah, they're honourable mentions. Again, films I really like, I just couldn't fit on this list, but here we go with the top 20. So in at number 20 for my top 20 films of 2014, we have Tom Hardy in a car for an hour and a half. That's right. Number 20, we have Locke, starring Tom Hardy. Tells a story of a guy called Ivan Locke, who on the eve of one of the biggest concrete pours ever done, he embarks on a cross-country car journey to do a specific thing. I'm not going to get into too many spoilers. I really, really did like this film. The reason it's kind of quite low on the list is because it's one of those films that I can kind of just keep in the background. It's not a film that I can kind of focus on all the time. But I really did like it. I loved the way it was filmed. I know on the audio commentary for the Blu-ray, basically the way they filmed it is they filmed like a play. They filmed the whole film, I think it was like twice every night, and the voice actors. I mean, it's just Tom Hardy in the car, but he kind of gets phone calls from different people, and the voice actors were calling him in real time, and the conversation were in real time. And I just loved the way the fact that they did it that way. But it really, really worked well. It's kind of a different kind of film. It's a thriller, it's a drama, it's a comedy at some points, and that's why I really liked it. So that's why it's at number 20. Now, number 19 is a film that I absolutely loved. Not a lot of people saw, but when they did see it, they really, really liked it. And at number 19, we have Short Term 12, starring Brie Larson, John Gallagher Jr., and a host called Caitlin Dever, and a host of other very good child actors. And it basically tells the story of a woman played by Brie Larson, who takes charge of a kind of a halfway house kind of thing that look after kind of troubled children, and kind of cares for them, and kind of tries to connect them with their parents, or if they don't want to connect with the parents, kind of find a foster home of some sort. But the reason I really love this film is just it's very true to life. It's got some fantastic performances, especially by Brie Larson. She's like one of my favourite actresses now. I always kind of go out my way to watch films that she's in. Really amazing acting. John Gallagher Jr. as well was very, very good. I just love the fact that even though these kids were very, very troubled, that she was troubled herself. She has a lot of demons in her closet, and that kind of comes to the fore kind of towards the latter half of the film, not the latter half, the latter third of the film. I also loved it for the performances of the children as well. They were kind of, I think quite a few of them were kind of non-actors. I know one of them was like a rap star. But yeah, it's just really, like I say, it's just true to life. It's very heartwarming, it's sweet, it's really, really funny, and that's why I liked it. So yeah, number 19 we have Short Term 12. Now in number 18 is the sequel to the 2011 action film masterpiece The Raid. We have The Raid 2, or Raid 2 Berendal, to give it its full title. I mean, what more can I say about this film? It's ass-kicking action at its very best. It's got a great story. I know a lot of people didn't like the story, they thought it got quite convoluted, but I absolutely loved it. It's like the Godfather of kind of Indonesian action films. Very extremely well directed by Gareth Evans, and kind of choreographed by a lot of different really good people. I don't quite sure how to pronounce the main actor's name. Iko Uwais, I think it is, or I'm not quite sure of anything, something like that. Really, really good. He's not just kind of a great action star, he's also a great actor in his own right as well. This ass-kicking action is just, it's dirty, it's gritty, but it's just absolutely amazing. Some absolutely fantastic choreography, some of the best action fight scenes of all time, in my opinion. And yeah, absolutely loved The Raid 2, and why is it at number 18? Now, in number 17 is a film that I did not expect to like as much as I did. It's directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. It stars, amongst other people, Chris Pratt, Elizabeth Banks, Will Arnett, Morgan Freeman. We have the Lego Movie. Yeah, really, really, really like this film. Some really funny scenes, some fantastic animation. Now, I believe the whole thing was CGI, but I believe maybe a little bit of stop motion might have been mixed in there. You've also got some live action in there as well. It's just hilariously funny. It's very imaginative. It just portrays the kind of the joy of playing with Legos, but in film form. I just really, really liked it. Some great music as well, and yep, and everything with the Lego Movie is awesome. Now, in number 16 is a war movie directed by David Ayer, starring Brad Pitt, Logan Lerman, Shia LaBeouf, Michael Pena, John Bernthal, and that is Fury. Again, really, really like this film. Some great war action. Honestly, in my opinion, one of the best war films I've seen since Saving Private Ryan. It's extremely well directed. The action is fantastic. Some great war violence in there as well. The story is interesting. The characters are very, very immersive. I just loved the way it was shot. It's very kind of up close and personal, especially with the people. I love the scenes that were filmed inside the tank. It looked very claustrophobic. Really kind of put forward kind of the horrors of war very, very well, I thought. I know a lot of people kind of criticised the film itself, but for me it was really, really good. The acting was sensational. There was, like, every single person in this film was at the top of their game. John Bernthal, the best he's ever been. Logan Lerman, the best he's ever been. Shia LaBeouf, the best he's ever been. Brad Pitt, the best he's ever been. Michael Pena, the best he's ever been. Just really some fantastic performances, great action, great directing, great script, great story, just a great film. So that's Fury. Now, in number 15 is a war movie, but it is a very, very different war movie. We have Lone Survivor, starring Mark Wahlberg, Ben Foster, Anil Hirsch, and Taylor Kitsch. Again, great direction, some fantastic action scenes, just absolutely harrowing. The whole from beginning to end, the whole thing was absolutely harrowing. It's a fantastic movie by Explosions in the Sky. Seriously, download the film Waking Up. It's absolutely beautiful. I just really love the film. My eyes were transfixed to the screen the whole time. It's a story of courage. It's a story of horror, you know. But it's definitely a very true story, because it's based on a true story about the Navy SEALs who went through this ordeal. It's just absolutely amazing. Very well directed by Peter Berg. I know a lot of people kind of shit on him because of Battleship. I haven't seen that personally, but I know it's not very good. But yeah, people say it's a return to form for him. I know technically, now this film did come out, I think, about end of January this year. that came out in kind of last year in other countries, but really, really good. Some fantastic acting. Emil Hirsch, I usually kind of like think he's not that good. I just think he's miscast quite a lot of the time, but the casting in this was absolutely sensational. Just really gritty, dark horror. It's just it's a fantastic war film but a very human story, and that's why I loved it. Now, in at number 14 is again a film that came out last year, but only this year in the UK. We have Inside Llewyn Davis, starring Oscar Isaac, Kerry Mulligan. Who else? We've got John Goodman, Garrett Hedlund. Now, the reason I love this film so much, I just loved the way it was shot. I know a lot of people kind of didn't particularly like it. I know Roger Deakins was working on Prisoners, so he couldn't work on this film. But I absolutely, in my opinion, it looks like the best. I mean, cinematography-wise, it's the best Coen Brothers film that I've seen. I just absolutely loved it. It's very kind of dreamlike. I don't know kind of what kind of camera they use, but it's like got a real kind of weird glow to all the scenes, which I really loved. It's really funny in parts though. But the thing I kind of liked about this film is when you watch it, you think, yeah, my life might be bad, but it is not as bad as Llewyn Davis's. It kind of uplifts you, but not in a way you'd think. It's just kind of uplifting because you think, yeah, my life isn't as bad as him. It's very, like I said, again, it's a very human story again. Obviously, it's not me personally, because I'm not like a big fan of a kind of like folk music, but I know it's quite a accurate representation of that music and that lifestyle. And yeah, it's set kind of like before. Love that thing on the documentary. They said it's set before kind of. There's like two sides of folk music. There's before Bob Dylan and after Bob Dylan, and this film is set kind of before Bob Dylan, and it's just really funny. Like I said, some really great performances. John Goodman is laugh out loud every single line he says, every scene he's in. So again, some great characters, great acting, very funny, and yeah, that's why I liked it. So yeah. Now, in number 13 is a film that I did kind of want to put higher up on the list, but I think I need to see it again because I didn't quite appreciate it. I don't even know if I particularly liked it. I despised the character, and I just don't know if I quite liked it. But in number 13 we have Nightcrawler. Now I will give it this. Jake Gyllenhaal's best performance, bar none. And I've said it before. He's not a man. He's just kind of an entity. He's an empty shell. There's nothing behind those eyes whatsoever. He's a horrible person, but you kind of get why he does what he does, but just the way he does it isn't the best way to go about it, really. But again, it's great. You've got Jake Gyllenhaal, the kind of like a freelance photojournalist who starts kind of getting into the seedy world of like going to crime scenes, kind of filming it to sell it to news stations to get money. But find absolutely incredible performance by Jake Gyllenhaal, one of the best of the year, definitely. One of the best performances of the year, definitely. Got very good supporting casting, Rene Russo, Riz Ahmed as well. I really liked him. I'm a massive fan of his. And it's really good to see him in. Hope this opens the doors to kind of more kind of like films like that, very gritty films, very different films to films he usually does. And Four Lions was really funny. I really liked him in Ill Manners as well. Not a lot of people like that film, but I really liked it. But yeah, fantastic. Like I said, I do need to see it again because I just don't know if I liked it. Seriously, I actually had to have a shower after I saw this film. It's just really, just to get the dirt off me. It's a horrible film, but it's just so compelling to watch, and that's why I really liked it. Now, in at number 12, now, horror films today are shit, most of them, really. There's kind of like there's like a jump scare there, a door slam there, and it's just not imaginative at all. It's just they just spunk out loads of shitty horror movies, and because people go to see them because they're idiots, they make more of them because they get more money. But every so often, a horror film comes along that just absolutely just gets what horror is, and this is that movie. In at number 12 we have The Babadook, directed by Jennifer Kent, starring Essie Davis, Noah Wiseman and John Henschel. Now this film is one of the scariest films I've ever seen. It's by far the best horror film of the year. It's just extremely well acted. It's not just a horror movie. Now I know Chris Stuckman mentioned that if you're going into it thinking you're going into a monster movie, don't think that, because it's not a monster movie whatsoever. It's a film about grief. It's a film about well, it's a film about a lot of different things, but a monster movie, it ain't. It's just absolute psychological horror at its very, very best. Fantastic scenes, absolutely bone-chillingly scary. Now, when I saw this film, I did something that I don't do in horror films a lot. I actually covered my eyes. I was like that. I was like that. But that's a testament to just how amazing the film is. Again, I would have put this higher on the list, but again, just the film's kind of topped it a little bit. Again, I think I need to see it again. Just the right setting, just kind of like a really dark, like Saturday night with the curtains drawn, the lights off and everything. But it's just absolutely incredible. Some fantastic, again, Essie Davis. I know that people kind of rave about performance, and I echo that praise. It's absolutely incredible. Just kind of the range of emotions this woman puts forward is absolutely, again, it makes your hair stand on end. It's got some absolutely chilling, chill to your bones scenes and shots. It's just absolutely incredible, and that's why I absolutely loved it. So in at number 12 we had The Babadook. Now in at number 11 is a film that topped my top 5 underrated surprising films of the year. We have The Maze Runner, and I mean, I'm as surprised as you are that it's high up on this list. I just enjoyed the hell out of this movie. It's based on the young adult novels of the same name. There are three novels, and thankfully they're only going to make 3 films. I know that a lot of the time they make the last book into like 2 films, like The Hunger Games and stuff like that. But they're not going to do it with this film unless they change their minds, which I hope they don't. But I just loved. I didn't say loved. I really, really liked watching this movie. Some great characters. The acting on the whole was good. There were a few kind of lesser performances from some of the cast. I mean, Dylan O'Brien, it was alright, but it wasn't anything special. Kaya Scodelario, who I'm a big fan of, I think she needs kind of more exposure, and I hope this film does that. Even though it is kind of American, it does feel very British, and there's a lot of British cast. Will Poulter's in there, like Kaya Scodelario, got Amal Amin in there as well, who played the young Forrest Whitaker in The Butler. It's just really, I just loved kind of seeing what was going to happen next. I was always on the edge of my seat. I was always wondering, what's going to happen next. I hoped it was good, and it really, really was. I mean, what I always say about this film, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, and more than I had any right to, because I don't usually have a good track record for films based on YA novels. I just think that the characters are kind of very self-centered and just not very nice people. But this kind of the main character in this was very, well, I won't say human, but very more understated character, really. I've actually, now this doesn't happen a lot for me for films like this, but I actually went out and bought the second 2 books, and I'm kind of in the middle of the first one or the second one. But yeah, I really, really liked it. Like I said, I loved the scenes. I loved the way the story went. Now I know a lot of people kind of, I mean, there are a few plot holes in there. I mean, how Will Poulter got to the end that quickly, I'm not quite sure. But and also there's some kind of unanswered questions, but hopefully they'll be answered in the next film. But yeah, great performances. We've got Patricia Clarkson in there as well for a little bit. I'm not going to give away too many spoilers, but she is in it. There's a really interesting story, some great characters, great action as well. Very, very well directed, I thought. And yeah, very underrated, and that's why it's at number 11. Now, here we get to the good stuff. We have the top 10 of my top 20 films of 2014. And number 10 is a film, again, that I thought or hoped that it would be higher up on this list, but I think I need to see it another couple of times to kind of make a full-rounded opinion on it. But in number 10 of my top 20 of 2014, we have Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I don't usually like Marvel films. To be fair, I haven't seen a lot of them, but the ones I have seen, I didn't particularly like. I didn't really like the characters. Excuse me. I didn't really like the characters. The stories were very thin. The villains weren't very interesting. Loki, I still think, is a big pussy. But this film kind of turned myself around for Marvel films. Now I know this isn't quite based in the same kind of canon as kind of Captain America, the Iron Man and stuff, and the Avengers and stuff like that, which I think worked in its favour. It's not. It's a different film, but it's got a lot of the same kind of faculties. It's got some. It's very, very, very funny. Now, when I saw kind of the cast for this film, I thought, yeah, this is a really good cast, and also the director. I am a massive, massive fan of James Gunn from his work with Troma, all the way to kind of films like Lolly Love and Slither and the Super really liked as well. And I just love the fact that they gave a director like this the chance to make a film. But I just think that this film was perfectly suited to his kind of his comedy style. Very kind of self-deprecating, quite raunchy at times, but is very understated at other times as well. Great cast: Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, obviously Vin Diesel as Groot, and Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon. Great characters, some great action in there, some fantastic one-liners. Obviously, what is it? So if you had a black light in here, it looked like a Jackson Pollock painting. One of my favourite lines from the film, and a lot of people's favourite lines as well. But yeah, like I say, I think I need to see it a few more times to make kind of a properly rounded opinion on the film, which is why it's lower in the top 10 than I kind of wanted it to be. But yeah, in number 10 we have Guardians of the Galaxy. Now in number 9 is a film that not a lot of people saw, but I absolutely loved the first time I saw it. I went to go back to see it twice. I saw it twice in the cinema. I just really liked it. At number 9 we have Blue Ruin, directed by Jeremy Saulnier, starring Macon Blair and some other people. Devin Ratray's in there as well, but I can't quite remember what the other actors' names are. But I absolutely love this film. It's a revenge thriller. Basically, you got this guy called Dwight who finds out that a guy that did something to his family. I'm not going to give away too many spoilers. So he decides to take revenge on the guy that did this. He does something, and which kind of sets out a kind of chain of events that will ultimately lead to his downfall. But I just loved it. Just goes to show what low budget filmmaking can be, and it's one of the best low budget films I've ever seen. And a lot of it was backed by kind of Kickstarter. I think the kind of family put some money towards it as well. But again, it just goes to show what can be done with a lower budget. I mean, you get these like really kind of high budget blockbusters which are really good. Then you have these really kind of understated indie films, very very low budget. Now the main actor is actually or one of the friends of the director. Again, the kind of their first film was A Murder Party, which I was a big fan of as well. But yeah, this one just kind of just builds on it tenfold. Some really kind of understated performance by Macon Blair. He doesn't say a lot, but he says a lot with his eyes, which I really liked. Got some great supporting acting there. Got some very kind of dirty, grimy violence in there as well, which I really liked. But it's got a great story. Say interesting characters. You didn't know where the story was going to go next. It wasn't cliche by any means. But yeah, I just absolutely loved it. The making of on the Blu-ray is a must-watch for any kind of low-budget filmmaker, in my opinion. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely love this film, and that's why it's a number 9. Now, in at number 8 is definitely the most polarising film of the year, and possibly one of all time. We have Scarlett Johansson in the Jonathan Glazer directed, what do you call it? A horror drama, Under the Skin. Now, last year, Only God Forgives was the most divisive at this, but this year, this film definitely is. It's a Marmite film. You either love it or you hate it. I absolutely adored it. I did a full review of this film, which I might link down below, but I absolutely loved it. I loved it's kind of Lynch crossed with Kubrick, but with a very kind of fresh perspective on it. Some very weird and scary scenes. I still don't quite understand the film, to be honest, but it kind of, which is why it, in my opinion, holds up to repeat viewings. I don't understand some of the scenes. I don't quite get how some of them tessellate with each other, but you don't really need that when you've got kind of imagery as beautiful as this, but as scary as this at the same time. I love the fact that kind of the realism of the film, the fact that it was just basically Scarlett Johansson picking up random people in a car. Obviously, with kind of the main story, they were proper actors, and which again just really felt it's very dark. Like I say, it had the Kubrick and Lynch influences, but it was very different as well at the same time. I really liked it. I mean, for fact, I loved it. I just loved the imagery. It was very scary, but it was very beguiling. It was just incredible to watch. I was like staring at this, like my eyes never stopped staring at the screen. Absolutely loved it. One of the creepiest films I've ever seen. The Black Void scene still freaks me out to this day. Just the sound design is absolutely incredible in this film as well. You got fantastic, let's say, iconic performance from ScarJo as this thing. I don't even know if she quite has a name, but I absolutely loved it. I implore anyone to see it. Yeah, I do get why people don't like it. I know people kind of don't like these weird kind of art house films. I do, but I completely understand why people don't. No, it's not a very easy film to understand or follow, but that's the reason I think I loved it so much. So at number 8 we had Under the Skin. Now in at number 7 is a film that, for my money, was the best kind of popcorn action blockbuster of the year. We have Godzilla. Now I loved watching this film. It was my favourite cinema experience of the year. I was on the right front row. It was 3D, the screen was bigger than I could actually see. I had to kind of turn my head at some points, but I absolutely loved it. I loved the action, I loved the monster design, I loved the sound design, I loved the direction. Like I always say, if I ever saw Gareth Edwards, I would say, do not stop making monster movies. You are good at it, okay? Do not stop. Absolutely loved it. I love the action. Now I know a lot of people complain about the fact they don't see Godzilla enough, which, to be fair, is a fair critique. You know, you don't see him a lot, but it just makes the fact that when you do see him, all the more better. You know, I just love the scene in Chinatown where he just gives out this massive roar. One of my favourite film moments of the year. But again, I just loved it. Yeah, I know. Well, I don't want to get into spoilers, but the thing about Bryan Cranston, yeah, fair enough. And a lot of people said, "Oh yeah, I thought he was, going to, be in more of the film," which, yeah, is fair enough. I know it's a fair critique. Again, I'm not going to argue with you, but I liked it. I quite liked it. I'm going to say I quite liked it that they killed him off. It was it's something you weren't expecting. Now, it didn't really kind of serve the story any, but I don't think it harmed it or any. I don't think it harmed it at all. Aaron Taylor Johnson, yeah, was a bit wooden in his acting, but to be honest, so was Elizabeth Olsen as well. But like I say, just sit down, turn your brain off, get a massive thing of popcorn or drink or whatever you want to do. Just sit down, enjoy it. It'll look great on kind of like a massive 50-inch TV. It'll be absolutely orgasmic watching it like that. I don't have one of those. I think the most I have is like a 42-inch. Yeah, like I said, but it does lose some of its impact kind of watching it on watching it home that does at the cinema. But there's action as good as this, it doesn't really matter in my mind. Some great monster design as well. My favourite kill of the year as well as in this film. Absolutely loved it. Yep, so at number 7 we have Godzilla. Now at number 6 is a film that originally was very, very higher up in my list, but kind of other films that I saw kind of brought it down. It's yet another adaptation of a young adult novel starring Shailene Woodley, Ansel Elgort and Willem Dafoe. We have The Fault in Our Stars. Now I didn't hear a lot of people kind of mention this in their top films of the year, but I really, really liked it. Now, Now Is Good was my favourite film of 2012 for very different reasons to other films. And this was similar. It had a very similar story. We had Shailene Woodley playing a girl with leukemia who is going through the illness, who meets a guy who is going through the same illness, and kind of their budding relationship and how kind of their illness brings them together, which was very similar to Now Is Good. But I did like Now Is Good a little bit more, but I do think this is the better movie. It's very better shot. The acting is a lot better, but I just don't know what it is about these types of films that just kind of connects with me. I just don't know what it is. I mean, I saw it 3 times at the cinema and I wanted to see it more, but I just couldn't. I'm not going to kind of gush about the film because, yeah, it does have its problems. It is a little bit cliched at times. It kind of thinks that like would this really happen? No, this would never happen ever. Which I can understand why people kind of say that. Even I said that. Just then, but apart from that, the acting was fantastic. Shailene Woodley is one of my favourite actors now. Ansel Elgort was very good as well. I also got Willem Dafoe, Sam Trammell, and Laura Dern as her parents were very, very good as well. The dad didn't have that much to do, but Laura Dern in the film was a very, very good performance. Yeah, it's nothing like kind of like massively stand out, but that's kind of one of the main reasons I liked it. It's very understated. It wasn't kind of like flashy for the sake of being flashy. The relationship was very well realised. You know, the kind of they meet, they fall in love, the kind of the meet, they get to know each other, they fall in love, and all the rest of the stuff. Which I just kind of like liked watching it. Even my mum quite liked watching it. Well, I didn't kind of see it with her, but when I saw it on Blu-ray, she watched it as well, and she really liked it as well. Yeah, it's just one of those films that, again, I just don't know what it is. It just kind of takes hold of me and just doesn't let me go. Obviously, I'm getting into a bit of kind of weird stuff now, but I'll get off this topic. So number 6, we had The Fault in Our Stars. Now, in number 5 is a film that technically in the UK, this film does come out on the 16th of January, but I saw it in 2014, I believe the end of November, at a special preview screening. I'm so glad I did, because it's one of the very, very best films of the year. It's a fantastic central performance and an absolutely amazing supporting turn from J.K. Simmons. At number 5, we have Whiplash. This film is incredible, I'll give it that. I do need to watch it again though, which is why it's actually showing another preview screening on my birthday, which I'm going to go and see it again. It's incredible. Miles Teller is fantastic. J.K. Simmons is absolutely terrifying in this role as I can never get, is it Terence Fisher or Terence? I think it's Terence Fletcher. It's a really kind of drill sergeant like, and I love the way Christian Harloff put it. He said, if Vern Schillinger in Oz became a music teacher, this would be what this character was. It was absolutely frightening performance by J.K. Simmons. I really hope he gets at least a nomination. Hopefully he might even win it. Just absolutely incredible. Some great kind of music scenes. All the music was played really. I know Miles Teller was kind of a self-taught drummer, but he had to really kind of go through the ringer in this film. Some just fantastic imagery. It kind of reminded me of the film A Last Quartet, but much better. Some much better performances, but in the way it's shot, it's quite similar. It's set in kind of the same kind of setting of kind of New York City. It reminded me a little bit cinematography of Inside Llewyn Davis as well, but obviously not as much. But yeah, the performances are absolutely first rate. You've got some really good scenes in this. There's at least 3 standout scenes. The first kind of rehearsal scene, the 3-way drumming scene, and the final scene as well, which made my top scenes of the year. But I honour everybody to see this film when it comes out. I know it's a couple of weeks yet, but I implore everyone to seek the film. I know a lot of people are going to go and see it because it got a lot of buzz, got some fantastic reviews in the US. I know Stuckman put it on his number 2 films of this year. It was incredible. It was amazing. It was scary. It was like full of hope. But I absolutely loved it. So in at number 5 we have Whiplash. Now in at number 4 is a film that came out towards the front half of the year. I believe it was kind of beginning of February it came out. It is the latest film from Martin Scorsese, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Jonah Hill, amongst other very talented people. We have The Wolf of Wall Street. Now, I loved watching this film. I loved every second of it. I didn't agree with a lot of the stuff that he did, but watching it kind of just... I know you have to be in the right mindset to watch this film. I do admit that. If you go into this film thinking, he's a bad person. If you go into it thinking, he's a bad person, I don't like the stuff he's doing, you're not going to enjoy it for what it is. It's definitely the funniest film Scorsese has done, and it might even be my favourite of his. I love Goodfellas. Like Casino, well, not his best film, but when I did a review of this, I dubbed this his best film since Casino, which I still agree with to this day. I haven't seen all his films, still haven't seen King of Comedy, I haven't seen kind of 1 or 2 of his other films. But to me, this is in kind of the upper echelon of Martin Scorsese films, which, to be fair, all his films are great. So to be kind of one of the best films of a bunch of films that this guy directed is a feat of itself. It's like I said, it's some of the content is a bit dubious, but it's based on it's actually based on the book by Jordan Belfort, who is the kind of The main character in this film is kind of based on him. Now I don't know how much of it was kind of embellished, how much stuff actually happened, or how much of it was kind of created for entertainment's sake. But what was made for entertainment's sake was damn entertaining. Like I say, I loved watching this film from start to finish. It did not drag whatsoever for me. I know it's just under literally seconds under 3 hours. But it didn't feel it at all. I remember leaving the cinema thinking this did not feel like 3 hours, which is a testament to the film. I thought the pacing was very, very well done. It does slow down at times, but then it kind of revs up quite quickly. Again, just fantastic central performance by Leonardo DiCaprio. Great supporting act by Jonah Hill with the whitest teeth ever, and just a really, really wholesome family entertainment. But I absolutely loved it. Like I say, performances were fun. Where he's like balls to the wall, just kind of crazy. Leonardo DiCaprio, possibly one of, if not his best performances he's ever given. Absolutely incredible. Number 4 we have The Wolf of Wall Street. And then number 3 is a film that a lot of people really, really liked, but said they would never ever watch again. I would. In fact, I've seen it 5 times, including twice at the cinema. It's directed by Steve McQueen. It won the Best Picture Oscar. It stars Chiwetel Ejiofor. It is 12 Years a Slave. Now, I do agree that it is a very, very, very hard film to watch. It's based on a true story on real life, based on the book by Solomon Northup, who the film is based on, who is played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, who is sold into slavery in the 1800s, I think it is, and it kind of follows his journey as a slave and his need to kind of escape from this life, and kind of basically someone to listen to him. Now, I still can't believe that kind of shit happened back then. I mean, to get like quite a renowned kind of I think it was a celloist, a violinist. Just kind of get this guy into. I mean, I don't know how that stuff was legal. I mean, it's like, would you not think that taking a person who kind of led a real life, was a real kind of person, and just like literally pluck some guy from his life and send him as a slave just like that? I mean, how could anyone let that shit happen? It's incredible to me. But that's what made it so compelling. So again, some first-rate Oscar-worthy performances from Chiwetel Ejiofor, Benedict Cumberbatch, Michael Fassbender. Oh my God, he's incredible in this film. Lupita Nyong'o, who else? Sarah Paulson is absolutely frighteningly horrible in this film. But Michael Fassbender is the kind of the standout for me. Definitely one of the best villains of the year. And that's what kind of annoyed me about this film, the fact that it took so long to come out over here. Now, it came out in the US last October, I think end of last October, and only came out here in January. I actually saw this on my birthday. I know, a great way to spend a 25th birthday watching a film about slavery, but there you go. But yeah, absolutely, I don't want to say I loved it, but I appreciated it a hell of a lot. I loved the way it was directed. I loved the fact that I know a lot of kind of scenes went on for about 3 minutes too long. The hanging scene, like a lot of people kind of mentioned, was absolutely incredible. Steve McQueen is a fantastic director. Loved Hunger. I liked Shame, but I do need to watch that film again, I think. And it's like with kind of a few directors like Tarantino or Kubrick back in the day, like every film he brings out is an event film, because he doesn't make a lot of films. He makes like one major kind of feature film, and then he does like a lot of short films, kind of art projects and stuff, and then he does another film. And which kind of is a testament to kind of the film. I mean, the fact that he picked this kind of story to make a film on was one of the best decisions he's ever made. I say won the best picture Oscar, or won a lot of other Oscars as well, I think, or did it? I'm not quite sure. But it was worth everything, all the praise it got. Absolutely incredible film, very hard to watch, like I said, but very, very rewarding. So in number 3 we have 12 Years a Slave. Ooh, now here we get into the real nitty gritty, my top 2 films of 2014. Now in number 2, this was one of the most hardest decisions I've ever had to make. It was at a time there were number 1, number 2 were completely on par with each other, and then this film just tiny bit under number 1. But number 2 is, it's a film that has actually come out over here subsequently, but I saw it it was when was it? It was kind of middle of December, I think it was just a few days ago. Actually, the 28th of December, I saw this film. Which is why I'm going to class it as a 2014 film, because it was made in 2014 all across the world apart from the UK. It was brought out in 2014, so I'm going to class it as a 2014 film, even though in the UK came in 2015. Is one of the best films of the year. Just the way it was shot was absolutely unlike anything that's ever been done before, and anything that will ever be done since. It's definitely one of a kind. It's edited in a way that which I'll explain in a little bit. It stars Michael Keaton, Emma Stone, Andrea Riseborough, Amy Ryan, Edward Norton. Who else? Who else is there? There's a lot of other great people in there. It's directed by Alejandro González Iñárritu, and it is Birdman. Now, this film is incredible. It's filmed. Now, I don't know how they did it, but it's filmed like it looks like the whole film is one continuous take. The camera follows different things. It looks like it is that whole thing in one shot. I know it isn't. I know there's kind of like some CGI in there, and kind of but I do know that they used quite a lot of long takes and kind of like edited them together. But the first time, I do want to see this film again, because the first time I saw it I just kind of enjoyed it for the film itself. But the second time I see it, I'm going to kind of like try and find the joins and stuff, kind of like try to figure out how they did it. I'm never going to be able to do it, but I hope against hope there's going to be like a 3-hour making of this film. Hopefully, the film is 2 hours. It never drags at all. Definitely Oscar-worthy performance by Michael Keaton. Some great supporting artists as well. Edward Norton is horrible in this film. It's, like I say, it's the best film. Like the way it's filmed is the best of the year. It's absolutely beguiling to me how they undertook this project, and I just love the fact that it's kind of a renowned foreign director like Iñárritu, who directed this film. It's kind of like last year's Gravity. The fact that kind of a Mexican guy, I think it was Mexican anyway, Mexican or Spanish guy, directed a film that was this good. And then this year it's going to be Birdman, bar none. It's going to be nominated up the wazoo for the Oscars, and I hope it gets all the praise that it deserves, because it deserves all the praise. Every glowing review, every cinema experience, and it is a cinema experience. It just harks back to the days of it's just fantastic cinema. It's pure cinema. And that's why it works so well. It's one of the best films I've ever seen. Definitely one of the best films of the year. I implore everyone to see this film. I know everyone is going to, and a lot of people have seen it already and gave it fantastic reviews. Honestly, I could sit here and talk about this film for like half an hour, but I have another film to talk about, which might take half an hour. So I'll leave it at that. So Birdman is my number 2 film of the year. I'll say number 1. I was actually considering to put number 1 and 2 kind of on par with each other, and kind of just have a joint number 1. But I think number 1 has a little bit more of a rewatchability for me. It kind of did something that this film didn't quite do, but not to kind of take away from this film. It is absolutely incredible. I know a lot of people are going to absolutely love it, and a lot of people have loved it already. And one of the films I cannot wait for more people to see, to kind of give their takes on it, and absolutely love it. So number 2 we have Birdman. Now before we get to number 1, I'll go to a rundown of my top 20 so far. So I refer to my notes here. At number 20 we had Locke. Number 19 we had Short Term 12. Number 18 we had The Raid 2. Number 17 we had The Lego Movie. Number 16 we had Fury. Number 15 we had Lone Survivor. Number 14 we had Inside Llewyn Davis. Number 13 we had Nightcrawler. Number 12 we had The Babadook. Number 11 we had The Maze Runner. Number 10 we had Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 9 we had Blue Ruin. Number 8 Under the Skin. Number 7 was Godzilla. Number 6 was The Fault in Our Stars. Number 5 was Whiplash. Number 4 was Wolf of Wall Street. Number 3 was 12 Years a Slave. And number 2 was Birdman. Yet here we are, my favourite film of 2014, and one of my favourite films of all time. I'm going to not beat around the bush. I'm going to say what it is. It is Boyhood. Now I know I've gushed about this film in the past. It's a film that changed my life. It's a film that makes me want to be a better person. It's filmed over 12 years. They got a kid, L.R. Coltrane, started filming him when he was 6 years old, took a few days out of each year to film kind of little vignettes that kind of showed him grow up from a 6-year-old kid to an 18-year-old man. It is pure cinema, again, like Birdman was. It's cinematic, it's true to life. It's got a lot of kind of life lessons in there. Life doesn't give you bumpers, one of my favourite lines of all time now. It's really hard to explain how fucking incredible this film is. Like I said, it's one of the best films I've ever seen. But the one thing that I absolutely love about the film is the fact that they filmed this over 12 years, right? And in that subsequent 12 years, a lot of stuff happened. I love the fact that I mean, yeah, some films kind of like history films kind of know what happens in history, so they can kind of like do a scene about it. But in this film, because they filmed it over 12 years, each kind of like passing kind of like the technology technology changes, and therefore technology in real life changes. Like in a film, they might do that to kind of make some drama out of it, but it actually happened because they were filming at 12 years. It actually happened in real time, which I still can't get my head around. I love the fact that also in the subsequent 12 years, that how many films these people have made. I mean Richard Linklater, through directing this film, he directed Before the second one, Before Sunset, Before Midnight, School of Rock, Bernie, what else? A Scanner Darkly, incredible. But a lot of other films he's directed while he directed the film, which still boggles my mind. I don't quite know why. But not only do you kind of see the transformation of this child, you also see the transformation of his mother, played by Patricia Arquette, fantastic performance, and how her life changes through the years as well. She has a string of kind of not very well, kind of sometimes abusive husbands and boyfriends. But you see this character kind of mature as much as the child actors do, and also Lorelei Linklater, who plays Mason's sister, who is obviously Richard's daughter. Kind of you see her grow up as well, and I honestly think that she looks more different kind of through the years than L.R. Coltrane did, I thought. But honestly, I could honestly sit here for half an hour and just gush about this film, but I just kind of want to make it a little bit concise, a little bit succinct. I don't want to kind of go on about it for too long. It's just, like I say, it makes me want to be a better person, and no other film has ever done that for me. It might even be my favourite film of all time. It's definitely on my top 10. No, definitely top 20, probably top 10. Absolutely loved it. I saw it twice at the cinema, and I was actually planning to see this film 3 times in one day, but that didn't quite work out. I would have loved to do that. It would have been quite weird though, kind of from 6-year-old to an 18-year-old back to a 6-year-old. It'd be quite weird. But I also loved the soundtrack as well in this film. It made my list for the top 5 soundtracks of the year. It's another thing that kind of I love the fact that the film doesn't have timestamps. It doesn't say like a year later, 6 months later, but the way it is kind of timestamped was with the music. And it started off with Yellow by Coldplay, and finished off with a song. Well, not quite remember which song, but kind of a song, but each kind of song represents the time that the scene was set in. Now I do understand people's kind of complaints about the fact that they think it's just kind of like a few scenes kind of very loosely strung together, but it's not about that. It's a character study. I always say it's not just a film, it's an experiment in filmmaking, an experiment that Einstein would have been proud of. It accomplishes everything that it set out to do and more. Like I say, it changed me as a person. Absolutely adore this film. Like I say, it's my top 10, top 20, probably top 10 of all time. And a lot of people thought that as well. But it's like I say, it's not just a movie. It's a cinema experience, and it's even a life experience. Quite literally, because you see kind of the lives of these people kind of go through the years, through these scenes that are very, very well. It's very well constructed. I will say that. I just absolutely loved it, and there was apart from Birdman, there was no other film that came close to being number 1 for me. Like I said, it was like neck and neck, just like that, and then kind of Birdman just went like just a tiny bit, not even that, just like that, just a tiny bit. But yeah, this is by far my favourite film of the year. one of my favourite of all time. But yeah, I said I wasn't going to gush about it, but I am now, so I'll stop. So yeah, my number one film of 2014 was Boyhood. So yeah, there we have it. There has been my top 20 films of 2014. Now, I do like making top 20s because I do believe that a lot of films that kind of don't get mentioned in people's top 10s would have been in their top 20s, which is why I like doing a top 20. It just kind of gives more films more recognition. I also had kind of honourable mentions in there as well. I mean, again, maybe if I see one or two of the honourable mentions, they might creep up on the list. I don't know, you know. But one thing that I love is kind of discovering new films that people might not know about, and kind of loving them. I mean, like Short Zone 12, Blue Ruin. I didn't know these films were going to be as good as I thought. I mean, I didn't even know some of them were being made at certain points, but that's one of the best feelings in the world to me, is kind of discovering a film for the first time that you love. And yeah, so that's just fantastic. So yeah, like I said, that would be my picks for the top 20 films of 2014. So obviously next year I'll be doing a top 20 of 2015. It's kind of annoying because I did actually kind of want to put a couple of these films on my 2015. I might even do, possibly, because it came out in the UK kind of in 2015. I know Whiplash is not quite out yet in the UK, but I saw it last year. Birdman is out now, but I saw it last year, so I counted it as a 2014 film. But yeah, so that's been my list. So yeah, thanks for watching. Here's to a great 2014 and hopefully to a great 2015. So that'll do for this video. So thanks as always for joining me. Thanks for watching. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.